Hey everyone, Mandy and Mike here. So now that the off season is officially upon us and these cars aren't going to be hitting the track for a while, anytime soon. So with that being said, we figured we'd show you how we winterize the engines. And by we, I mean Mike. So, dear.
So this car behind me only has about 500 laps on the engine from this past season, and it doesn't need to be rebuilt. But there's still maintenance that needs to be done so that it's ready to go next season.
So, let's get to it.
Okay, so the first thing we're gonna do is pull off the headers and pull all the spark plugs out. Now, these plugs here happen to be indexed for dome pistons, so you're going to want to use something like this to keep your plugs in order. Otherwise, you're going to spend a lot of time trying to find one that clocks between 9 o'clock and 3 o'clock to keep the electrode from getting hit by the piston. So the next thing you're going to do is take your aerosol fogging oil and spray it in all of your exhaust ports pretty liberally and in the spark plug holes. You want to take a flashlight and look in each cylinder and see which valves are open and which are closed. And then you're going to want to take and spin the motor over until the valve is open and then spray it again. So the idea is to spray each exhaust valve while it's open so that you're getting a good amount of oil so that it won't corrode. Okay, so now that you've got all the valves oiled and your cylinders have oil in them, you're gonna keep them from rusting and prevent any further wear, and your engine will be ready to go next season when you fire it up. I'd like to take exhaust plates and put them on and then put tape over the ports on the headers. So now if you want to take this one step further, you can pull the valve covers off and back the rockers off to save your valve springs from wearing out. Now if you know the firing order on your engine, you can spin the engine over until number 1 is on top dead center and both rockers are loose, and start by pulling those off, and then go in, spin it over every 90 degrees and go in firing order. If you don't know the firing order of your engine, if you have an exotic camshaft or something, you can just spin it over until the rockers are loose. Now if you have dual shaft rockers like on a small block where they're connected to each other, make sure that both the intake and the exhaust are loose before you start loosening the bolts. Now it's a good idea to label the rockers so you know where to put them back on. As you can see, this one's labeled 3E for the third cylinder exhaust and 3I for intake. When you're done, put the valve covers back on, thread the spark plugs back in the cylinders, and make sure that everything's covered so that nothing can get in there, no dirt or rodents. Now you're going to want to label the engine that you've backed the rockers off and then possibly disconnect the battery ground strap so that nobody spins the engine over or messes with it. And so that you remember that you need to put them back on in the spring. So another way of fogging your engine, if you didn't want to pull it all apart, is to fire the engine up, get it warm, shut the fuel off, and spray the fogging oil down the carburetor, and then until it runs out of fuel, and then shut it off. So now that your engine is fogged and sealed up, you can rest assured that it'll be ready in the spring. And all you have to do is put the rockers back on, set the valve lash, and hook your headers back up and fire it up. Awesome. Get it warm, and then put new spark plugs in.
Man, we might have to do that come springtime. So hopefully you enjoyed this. Make sure to like the videos,
Subscribe to the channel.
come back next time, and hang on for a couple of seconds and you'll see a cameo of Goldie Kitty. I'm videotaping the cat. I'm videotaping the cat right now. I think Goldie Kitty wants to help.